What's up, everyone? This is C, back with another video. I just want to remind you all to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the C channel. Let's keep blowing it up. So today I want to talk about how 7.2 million men ages 25 to 54 are not in the workforce in the US. So I recently spoke about how there were way more women than men in the US in college and getting college degrees. I did this video a couple of weeks ago, and another study came out where they stated that a ton of men ages 25 to 54, right, 7.2 million, just aren't in the US workforce. They've left. And I want to talk about the reasons why I feel like this is happening. And I'm not going to offer solutions, let's say, but I'm just going to discuss why I think this is happening. So, way less men in the labor force, right? This starts very, very young in school. One thing that I remember reading about too, while preparing and doing a little research to do this video, was there's much less of an emphasis in schools, let's say high schools, to promote trades in classes and to promote, like, let's say woodshop class, or let's say making things manually, things that men excel in. So from a very young age, men aren't seeing fields that they might be interested in. Men are very hands-on. They like to work with things. Women, statistically, like to work with people. Those are two things that define men and women, and are things that are true, even though some people may want to dispute them or not accept that those are facts. So from a very young age, men and women, women are seeing careers: lawyer, doctor, engineer. Men may not see things that they want to enter, maybe like a trade, become a mechanic, become, let's say, work in manufacturing, do hands-on things, maybe things like that. That's what I mean. Another contributing factor, I think, to there being way less men in the workforce is just less men are going to college in general. So in a couple of years, 2 women are going to get a college degree for every 1 man. So that creates just way more women who have degrees and I think today having a bachelor's is a bare minimum for almost a lot of professional jobs. So if men aren't in college and I have a bachelor's degree in engineering. If men aren't in college getting degrees, then they don't have the minimum requisite to enter a job and get a job. What else do I think is contributing to there being less men in the workforce? Politics, workplace politics. Let's say another thing that I remember reading while doing research for this video was most of the fields that are growing the fastest are fields where there are lots of women. So if you think of it from the perspective of the fields that are growing have tons of women in them, men aren't going to want to enter those fields because most of the politics are going to favor women. So one thing that I've seen in other videos and I've heard other YouTubers talk about is how when a work environment becomes very women dominated and a lot of women are in the workplace, lots of women-centric politics pop up that favor women. So you're not going to be able to small talk with, let's say, if you're a higher up executive or you're a higher up boss or you have a position and there's a secretary or you have assistants, females, female recruiters and things like that. It's going to be much more difficult for you in this women-centric environment for you to have a conversation with a coworker, maybe be a little playful, be a little silly. At the end of the day, we're all human, and I believe we all have these sides to us. So men are not gonna want to, let's say, flirt with the secretary or ask out a coworker that they think is cute because they're gonna be worried about being harassed and me too'd and accused of accused of harassment. They're not gonna want to do that. So they're going to leave work environments or just be there, but not be fully present. I remember I'm a big fan of Better Bachelor, so shout out to him and his channel. I watch his content too. He spoke about, I think, working in IT and how he worked in IT and a lot of women started to enter the field and it just created much more drama, much more complications in the workplace. Less work was being done. A lot of the women didn't know what they were doing. So the men had to pick up the slack, and then eventually a lot of the men just left the company. So these are things that are happening. Men just have the ability. I know a lot of leftist womenists are gonna not like what I'm saying, but men have the ability to work incredibly long hours, ridiculously long hours, and be workaholics and just be okay and be fine with that. A lot of women don't want to work a 50, 60, 70 hour week. I've worked 50, 60 hour weeks. They're brutal. I'm a workaholic. I'm pretty competitive, but that's how I am. That's my nature. So let's go back to the topic, right? Way less men in the workforce than women, right? Lots of men are just absent in the workforce. I think, men just don't want to participate in the BS politics and just the environment, I think a lot of this is cultural. In first world countries, male bashing and bringing down males is becoming part of the culture. I talk about this in my other videos, and I speak to great length of this. Excuse me. There's just a lot of hatred and despise towards men in first world countries, in developed nations. Men are viewed as buffoons. They're not competent. They don't know what they're doing. And I think a lot of these ideals seep into the workplace. Maybe there's a guy at a job who's doing his job and there's a female coworker telling him, you don't know what you're doing, but in reality, he knows what he's doing. It's the bigger picture, I think, is that we're seeing a decline and a degradation of society, right? And men are just not participating in it. Men don't want to take any part of it. As men, we want to be respected. We want to be valued. We want to be valued, right, and respected. And if we're not getting that in certain environments, we're just not going to participate and just not be there. I think for a developed nation to thrive and succeed, we need strong men in the workforce. We need men to be present, men to be working hard every single week for years and years of their life. If the hardworking men are just not valued, if the guy working a 9 to 5 who works super hard is just not being valued, he's not getting any play, he's not going on any dates because all the girls on whatever app he's using are going for the CEO or the athlete, or if the hardworking man is not being valued, the hardworking man is going to leave and be absent. And there's going to be a lot more problems to deal with in the long run if this continues. This is C signing out. I'll be back soon with another video. Stay tuned for more.